If you're hiring in Latin America because it's cheaper, you already are doing it wrong.
Remote work didn't create Latin America talent, but it revealed it.
Exactly.
Startups don't die because talent is expensive. They die because execution is slow.
Which means real-time collaboration, faster decisions, less friction.
And long-term commitment compounds results. And Latin America is no longer a backup plan, it's a strategy.
Welcome to Talent Beyond Borders by Arvenda. The old rules of hiring are broken. In a world where the best talent doesn't live within 5 miles of your office, how do you build a team that actually scales? We're moving past the outsourcing myths and the cheap labor mindset of the past. This is about the new era of global growth. We're talking about high performance, remote teams, the untapped power of Latin American talent, and the strategies founders and VPs are using in 2026 to win. I'm your host, and today we're showing you how to stop hiring for a zip code and start hiring for the win. Let's get into it. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hiring Beyond Borders by Arvenda. I'm Isabella, your host.
And I'm Mariana, today's guest. We're so excited you're here with us.
If you're driving to work right now, don't worry. We promise to keep you awake. But let me start with something that might sound a little uncomfortable. If you're hiring in Latin America because it's cheaper, you already are doing it wrong.
Wow, that's a strong way to open the episode.
It is, but it's true. In 2026, the best companies aren't hiring in LATAM to save money. They're hiring to win. And today we're going to break down exactly why Latin American talents is performing, why this isn't a trend, and why founders, BPs, and HR leaders who ignore this quietly putting themselves at a disadvantage. This episode isn't about feel good global hiring, it's about results, speed ownership, and building teams that actually can scale. Mari, why do you think this matters so much right now?
That's a good question, actually. Because the talent market has permanently changed. Here's why. The reality after 2020, remote work stopped being a perk, it became more like the norm. And once that happened, companies were forced to confront something uncomfortable. The best person for the job probably doesn't live 5 miles from your office anymore. At the same time, US and European talent became dramatically more expensive. Competition exploded. Job hopping became normal, loyalty started to drop. So now founders are feeling pressure from both sides, rising costs and declining stability. They are paying more for less predictability. But while most companies were busy reacting to that shift, trying to protect margins, something else was happening quietly. And that's the shift we're really here to talk about today.
That's right. Latin American talent didn't just enter the global market, they adapted to it faster than most regions. They learned how to work remotely, they learned how to communicate with US teams, they learned how to startups operate, and they learned how to deliver outcomes, not just hours.
So, in a nutshell, remote work didn't create Latin America talent, but it revealed it.
Exactly. And once the talent become visible to US companies, something very practical started to matter more than ever, collaboration. Because talent alone isn't enough. It has to integrate smoothly into your workflow. And that's where the time zones become superpower. Let's talk about that because this is a massively underestimated.
It's everything. LATAM overlaps almost perfectly with US work hours.
Which means real time collaboration, faster decisions, less friction.
Exactly. If a team lead sends a message at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, they'll get a reply at 10:15, not tomorrow morning. Startups don't die because talent is expensive. They die because execution is slow. And speed isn't just about time zone, it's also about alignment.
That's right, because even if you're online at the same time, if you don't understand how each other thinks, communicates, or operates, things still slow down. That brings us to something else people massively underestimate, which is cultural compatibility.
Huge. LATAM professionals understand Western business culture. That means feedback, accountability, ownership, urgency, everything. And many of us already work with US clients daily. It's not foreign to us. We understand expectations, deadlines, and everything. Also, communication style.
Exactly. Cultural mismatch kills more teams than skill gaps. Highly skilled person who doesn't communicate well, push back when needed, or understand urgency will slow everything down.
Yeah, actually, LATAM talents integrate fast. Just give us clarity and we execute. And once execution becomes consistent, something even more powerful starts to show ownership. Because clarity plus alignment doesn't just create task completion, it creates responsibility, which brings us to one of the biggest differences ownership mentality. Yes, they don't ask, what's my task? They ask, what's the goal?
100%. They ask, what does success look like? How can we improve this? You can teach ownership, you can only hire it.
And this isn't desperation, it's ambition. These are professionals who want growth, stability, and long term partnership.
You know, there's this outdated myth that Latin talent needs extra training. What do you think about it, Mari?
That's 2012 thinking. In Latin America, we have strong universities, technical education, and a massive self learning culture.
You know, the best talent today isn't defined by study degrees, it's defined by adaptability.
Exactly. And Latam professionals adapt fast. I remember working remotely with a US client who needed a copywriter within the first week. I had already aligned with this brand voice, his expectations, and the way his teams operated. The cultural and business alignment happened quickly because that's how we're trained to work. We integrate fast.
That's a great example. And, you know, we see the same thing at Brenda. We've had sales candidates increase companies' revenue by 20% in their very first quarter. That kind of impact doesn't come from just filling a role, it comes from professionals who understand outcomes and adapt quickly to what the business actually needs. And here's the interesting part when someone integrates that fast and starts delivering real results, something important happens. You build trust, and trust is what leads us into the next topic retention. Retention is the real return of investment because performance is exciting, but longevity is where scale happens.
Exactly. When professionals are paid fairly, treated with respect, and given real growth opportunities, they simply stay.
And that's the hidden advantage. When someone adapts quickly, delivers early wins, and feels valued, they don't see the role as temporary. They see it as a partnership. Rehiring kills momentum, it drains leadership energy, it resets trust. But when LATAM hires commit, they commit long term.
Exactly. And long term commitment compounds results.
So, Mari, tell us why LATAM is winning on 2026.
LATAM is winning because of time zone alignment, cultural compatibility, ownership mindset, strong skills, and retention. This isn't just a shortcut, it's a strategy. Global hiring is no longer optional, and Latin America is no longer a backup plan. At Arbenda, we see it every day. Companies that hire globally move faster, operate leaner, and scale smarter. If this resonated with you, you already know the next step.
Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and Spotify channel so you don't miss what's next. And if you have any questions, a comment, or even a concern, leave it below. We'd genuinely love to hear from you.
And if you're ready to grow your team with top remote talent from Latam, visit arbenda.com and schedule a call with us to learn how we can support your growth.
See you next time.
Bye.